Dolemite. 1975 film. Rudy Ray Moore. Self-produced, self-financed. I want to say a quintessential blaxploitation film.
Okay.
Like I said, Rudy Ray Moore is this comedian, late 60s, kind of an underground character, develops this persona of Dolemite based off of the way he heard people, one particular guy in general, doing this rhyming, rhythmic, jive talking thing that in a record store he was working at. And he just picked it up, ran with it. A lot of people have seen the movie My Name is Dolemite, starring Eddie Murphy, and it kind of goes into the story a little bit. Rudy Ray Moore as an individual, as a character, is just a wildcat. And he wants to make a movie, and nobody will help him make this movie, so he does it on his own, and it's a trip. Start to finish, you're like, what the hell am I watching? And you're rewarded for that, I think. Some might disagree. At least half the people on Rotten Tomatoes would disagree with me. But made it for, I think, like $100,000. Ends up grossing $12 million.
Which was back in 75, it would have been $58 million today.
Oh, could you imagine? Like turning that, like Hollywood doesn't do that anymore. You make $100 million movie. If you make $200 million, they're like, oh, it was a success.
Yeah.
Yes, good job, us. Pat ourselves on the back. That'd be like making $1.2 billion or something on a movie for $100 million. It's like James Cameron level return on investment.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know about any of that, but it's a big investment. It's a big return. It's a big return.
I want to say this movie's mostly plot. Well, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
All right, so the plot summary, I'll do my best. Dolemite's a pimp, comedian, nightclub owner. He's been imprisoned, I think wrongfully so. And the governor gets him out of jail, get out of jail free card, because he wants him to discover the source of this out-of-control drug problem in the 4th ward of the city. So that's kind of the setup at the beginning. Queen Bee, who's, I believe, his nightclub partner, or she's like the mama-san, right? Of the girls?
Yeah,
right?
she's like
the prostitutes?
The house mom.
Yeah, right. So she's there, in Dolemite's defense, and and so he's getting out. But he has his own kind of plot where he wants to take his club back from Willy Green.
Willy Green.
The actor is the director of the film, actually. Yeah, so he's trying
D'Urville Martin.
That's it. And so he's trying to get his club back. He's trying to get his total experience back, which is kind of part of the climax of the movie. But this is not a traditional movie. This does not follow the plot. Does not follow a plot, so to speak. There are various interludes that it takes, and it spends a lot of time on those interludes. So much so that I felt like I woke up in those parts and I had forgotten that I was watching this movie, and it was a completely different experience.
Like they were standalone moments.
Standalone moments inserted into a film.
Yeah, like at little intermissions.
Kinda.
Yeah.
But you're still there. It's supposed to be part of the viewing experience, I guess.
He's taking you on a ride. That was some of my first thoughts on it. Was like he's got this idea. It's like he sat around with his buddies. He's like, all right, I got this idea. Dolemite gets out of jail and takes on Willy Green and gets his club back, and then he's the star of the show again. All right, here's some money and a video camera. Let's go do this. And then they did it. It was mostly started like his friends and other comedians that he knew. There's like hardly any professional actors, directors in this. Just people he knew.
Yep. Yeah.
Totally bypassed that whole studio system of making a movie.
Yeah. Well, he had to.
He had to, 'cause nobody would have funded this.
Well, at the time, I think the studio was kind of over doing these kind of movies. They didn't know how long they were going to be able to keep doing the
blaxploitation.
Blaxploitation. Thank you. They didn't know how long they were going to keep doing those. That was his thing. That's what he wanted. He wanted to get in. He wanted to get in.
This was his chance.
Yeah.
I think this movie was... It almost felt like VR of Rudy Ray Moore. He's like, I'm going to take you on my journey as I see it. And he didn't hold back anywhere. The fight scenes were over the top. The sex scenes were crude. Is crude a good word?
Yep.
They were present. They weren't good.
No.
I'd say if... like if the room quality of a sex scene is like a 2 out of 10, Dolemite's maybe a 1.
Ooh.
They're bad.
Yeah.
They feel awkward and a little rapey, and especially one.
There was I made a decision about that, but I want to get to that a little bit later.
Okay. So I thought a lot of it felt a little uncomfortable and so poorly done that it felt over the top.
Oh yeah. So,
I mean, he had an army of when Queen Bee busts him out of jail, she's like, "Don't worry, I've been training the girls in karate to help with this mission."
Yep.
Of course she would. He wants to make a pimp kung fu movie, and what do you need? You need an army of ass-kicking prostitutes.
Yeah.
At your disposal. Why the hell not?
So my first exposure to this movie was the Netflix, the Eddie Murphy Netflix movie. My name is Dolemite. My name's Dolemite. Right. So I wanted to watch this movie. I haven't gotten around to it yet. But you have this whole box set, this whole DVD box set, and I had been aware of it a little bit, not too familiar with Rudy Ray Moore, but figured what the hell, dive in, check it out, and so here we are. That's what we did.
The total experience.
The total experience. So, what did you like? What worked in it for you?
What worked for me?
Yeah. What worked for you? I mean, this movie is all over the place.
No holds barred.
All right. Got it.
Within the limits of their budget. There's no big time special effects. I don't think there's any stuntmen, because you really wouldn't need to just kind of flop around like a fish after you've been hit.
That I don't know, but there was a stunt team or a fight team.
There was a fight team. Right.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, just the kind of the jive talking, smack talking, bullshit, and way everybody's interacting with one another. I thought that was top shelf.
Okay.
Of course, the little interludes where he just there was that scene in the parking lot. He's like, "Hey guys, come out to my club." And they're like, "Oh, Rudy, we can't afford it. I gave my last $5 to so and so." He's like, "All right, well, I'll just do the show for you right now." And then he does this whole 5 or 6 minute Dolemite show right there in the parking lot. Talking, I can't even begin to quote it because he's just machine gunning this persona he's got.
Yeah.
And it's got these great cuts. These like close in cuts with people just laughing and carrying on. I mean, obviously people liked it. He was successful in what he did. He made a ton of money. Of course, his movie made a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
I think it holds up. Not it
Holds up.
Yeah, it holds up.
Holds up to what?
It's gonna be one of those movies that people talk about. You know, that Dolemite, the Kung Fu Pimp, for years and years.
Mm.
A lot of movies are gonna get forgotten. I think Dolemite's gonna be one of those that keeps bubbling its way to the top.
Well, I read that even Maya Angelou wrote a couple poems that signified Dolemite.
Really?
Yeah. So there is a huge influence.
You've made it then.
You know, and of course Snoop Dogg references him. I don't know who else. I mean, there's big influence.
Right.
For how zany this thing is.
Yeah, I think it's up there with like Shaft.
I don't know.
You've never seen Shaft?
No, it's been a long time.
The Samuel L. Jackson Shaft?
It's been a long time since I've seen either.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I need a rewatch on those. But
yeah, or Foxy Brown, which I've never seen.
Never seen Foxy Brown. Never seen Coffee. Another Pam Grier movie.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Culturally influential, has kind of made its way into the pop culture a little bit.
I feel like it's made its way into like a subculture.
Okay. Almost like kind of a meme. It's a meme of
something like that. I don't know, because I wasn't super aware of him or really aware of him at all, and I'm like on the pulse of the culture.
Oh yeah, this guy.
You know, so
they're taking the culture's pulse, and it's going Eric.
Right.
Eric.
I mean,
Eric.
If it hasn't reached me,
right.
Then
well, then I take it back. That's one of my take backs. Apologies.
Yeah. Right.
You know. What'd you like about it?
Oh man, so I liked everything that was wrong with this movie. I liked the constant boom mic that was either up top or coming up from the bottom that you could see because of the transfer was open mat. So when they transferred it to the VHS or DVD,
yeah,
I got a kick out of the medium shots, which I think you mentioned. Again, the constant medium shots of people. It looked like they were taking medium format portraits of all the characters, like all the time.
Right.
I liked that no one seemed to know how to use a camera. I like how they just would typically set it up and it's completely stationary.
Right.
Until like the end where they got a little bit bold and they started moving the camera.
It's like it's a learn as you go filming experience.
Yeah, I don't know if they were like, oh, we have money left over. We can move it now.
Yeah.
Or they just realized they could pick it up. I don't know, but I like that.
Like somebody found this quick release button. You're like, oh, I guess this thing moves.
Who knows? But I think I liked those aspects because these are guys who don't have any experience making movies. They don't have experience acting. They don't have experience writing movies. But they did it. They did it outside of studio restrictions. It felt like a unique movie.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't feel like some cookie cutter movie you get from a studio. And I like that.
It would not have been a good movie if it was a good movie. Because the plot wouldn't have been there. There wouldn't be enough meat on the bone. You know, this is a cheap cut of meat, but it's big. And it's ridiculous.
I just think you have to see the movie to understand this. I just think it has some kind of feeling about it. Some kind of feeling about it.
Like a genuineness?
Yeah, it's genuine. It's genuine. It's raw.
Oh.
It's real. I mean, this guy, Rudy Ray Moore, he is not an actor.
Oh, God, no. Well, maybe he is, though.
No.
'Cause he's not acting the part of Dolemite in the movie, he's being Dolemite and acting in this movie. Does that make sense?
No.
Okay. But he's not Rudy Ray Moore playing Dolemite in the movie. He's Dolemite playing Dolemite in the movie. So he's kind of method acting. But you don't want me to put him on the Daniel Day-Lewis level?
I mean, you can if you want. I'm not going to take that away from you. But I don't agree.
Okay. Well, agree to disagree on that one.
But I don't think it matters either
Doesn't.
way. He had presence.
Mm-hmm.
He had screen presence. He didn't give a fuck.
Zero fucks.
I mean, he was on screen the way he wanted to be. He was saying what he wanted to say. And there's something about that I find myself really respecting.
Okay, great. What I liked about it was their willingness to just go for it.
Okay.
And I think a lot like what you said, where, yeah, the boom mic went in, went out. Obviously, that was a letterbox issue. If we saw the theatrical release instead of the DVD 4:3 ratio,
I wouldn't want to.
It would be different.
I would never want to.
I don't want to now.
No, it's an experience.
Right, because you see that. You see, like, the bad side lighting on people where you know they stuck a light, like, this far from somebody's face. And they're like, well, this is where we got to put it. Not that we know how to do anything else.
No.
The preacher. I thought the preacher was this weird side character, this gun running, sex fiend, kind of he almost seemed like a Black Panther type persona.
Was he a sex fiend? He was only with one woman.
Well, that's enough.
Dolemite is more of a sex fiend.
Oh, Dolemite. He waited, like 2 minutes after getting out of jail to, like, have an orgy in the back of a limousine after he changed clothes.
He had to get proper dressed.
He got dressed to get undressed.
Yeah.
Which was a ridiculous moment.
You gotta look right.
You can't be looking like some schlub getting out of jail. What'd you dislike about Dolemite? You're just gonna say everything that you liked about it.
I was thinking about that line when he threw his clothes back to the guard, and he's like, "What?" He says something like, "Oh, you can throw these away," and the guard's like, "Oh no, Dolemite, I'm gonna keep them for when you come back."
But it was said real deadpan. Like the guard was really uncomfortable saying, "No, Dolemite, I'm gonna keep them for when you come back."
Yeah,
he doesn't know how to act.
No,
none of these people knew how to act.
No one knew how to act. No one knew how to. All right, so what I didn't like. Well, the interlude that you mentioned when he was doing his comedic bit on the street, in the neighborhood, I didn't like that.
Was it too long? Could he have just given him a little taste and be like, "Come on, guys, come to the show later, and I'll give you the rest"?
I didn't like it because it went on for such a long time, and somewhere in the middle of that, I realized that the movie had stopped, and now we were here for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know why. And then furthermore, I didn't understand a word he said. And that's maybe my own, lack of cultural awareness or whatever. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not accustomed to that. So I didn't... And I was like, wow, okay. So he's in this moment now.
Mm.
The plot, the movie is completely stopped. He's just in. This is just like part of his normal routine, I guess.
Yeah, it's what he would do on stage. As Dolemite.
Yeah. But I think if I brought myself to watch it a second time, maybe because I would know that it's coming, maybe I could appreciate it in some way.
Yeah,
but,
maybe. Be like if Dave Chappelle was in a movie and he just started doing stand-up in the middle of the street.
No, I get it. I mean, I get the whole concept of it. But it just... and it kind of the same thing with the total experience. So, going along with that, some of the shots, I mean, it was funny, so I kind of liked it. But when you were talking about, so in that same interlude, they do the medium close-up, or the medium shots of the people listening to get the reaction shots.
Right.
And they do that other places in the movie, but those reaction shots don't necessarily match the wide shot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny. So I like that.
Well, you mentioned the total experience.
That went on too long for me as well.
The musical sequences that are like 3 or 4 minutes per song. It's like, we paid for this song, so we're going to use the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they did it, but that was another thing that just went on too long. It was like, and you're like, okay, what? This is happening now. Like, I don't know.
But we were rewarded with that epic fight scene at the end, where he finally kills Willy Green by pulling his guts out with his bare hands.
I mean, I wish it had happened sooner.
He could have killed Willy Green in the first 5 minutes, and then it'd have been just Dolemite doing his thing.
I just wish we had got to that moment faster.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
I mean, boy,
it saved us a lot of looking at each other going, is this still going?
I think that was supposed to be like, that time maybe could have been taken toward build-up, but they were just like, oh, we'll throw some concerts in.
I loved the wide shot in the total experience from the back of the room that shows like mostly all crowd and this little sliver of stage. It's like, obviously they didn't know how to use the zoom on the camera. They're just like,
no,
get the whole thing, plug it in.
I also didn't like when the mayor killed that girl.
It was so slimy.
Yeah, it just didn't seem necessary at all. And I didn't feel good about that.
Did he get gunned down, or was he...
I don't know.
He was shot by that FBI informant guy, that weird character that was like in and out of being good and evil, and
I don't know.
It was a whole weird thing, and those crooked cops. I'm thinking exploitation films, there's this like theme of crooked cops.
Maybe.
Hobo with a shotgun had them. We're all crooked cops. Dolemite's got them.
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts?
Ooh, I don't think we're to final thoughts yet.
I don't think we're final. We haven't thumbed this movie.
No, do you want to talk about favorite scenes?
Favorite scene? You first.
All right. Well, it would be easy to say one of the kung fu fights was my favorite scene. But I'm going to go with toward the end when he's in the dressing room and one of the girls walks in to deliver some message. And the girl walks out. She's walking directly toward the camera. And for a split second, she looks right at the camera. Just her eyes flash up and then flash back down. I thought that was great.
So she like breaks the fourth wall.
Completely.
And they just kept it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was like, that must have been the best take.
I'm rather partial to like right at the beginning when he's making the guy dance with the machine gun. He's like, dance, dance, and he's shooting the ground. The guy's like, I can dance.
You reminded me. Okay, I have another favorite scene.
Okay.
And it's when he gets out of jail. We already talked about it, but it's when he gets out and he undresses right there on the street. And again, it goes on too long. But all the guards are watching him, and they're really awkward. They're really like, they're really uncomfortable by this. And all the girls are around him, and they're undressing him, and he gets his pimp outfit on.
Those real high pants.
That was a favorite. That was a favorite.
Okay. I think we're let's thumb this thing.
I don't know if I'm
gonna warm it up.
I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I know where I'm at.
You know where you're at?
I know where I'm at. You want the countdown?
Oh man, because part of it is, it's like, would I watch this again? I don't know.
Would you watch it again with somebody new so that they can experience it and you can watch them watch it? Are you going to watch it with your partner?
No, absolutely not.
You don't think she'll like it?
Absolutely, I know she won't.
I know mine wouldn't either.
There's no point in doing that.
No. There'd just be why'd you make me watch this? This is terrible.
No, I don't do that. We don't play that game. It's not worth it.
No.
No. I know better.
Okay.
I would rewatch this with Clinton Fetters.
Yep.
But
He's going to be a guest on the
that's
show.
That's about it. But you know what? I'm gonna think about this in terms of my enjoyment during the movie.
Okay.
All right.
Let's get it.
All right.
Wind them up. Get them ready.
I'm a little nervous.
I know.
All
Me
right.
too. 3, 2, 1. Whoa! This is a first.
What the hell?
You're double thumbing it.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're like, tops. I'm watching this again. I'm going to enjoy it again. Great little film. Ridiculous film.
No, this is based on how much I enjoyed it while I watched it the first time.
Okay. Fair enough.
I actually don't have much desire to rewatch.
I had built it up in my head.
Okay, I'm surprised by your response.
I know. I built it up in my head as this thing that I thought I was going to like love start to finish. And there are parts of it that had me going, oh my God. They don't know what they're... You know, can I take my thumb down back? Can I take it to a half thumb?
No.
No, it's either
We don't
up
have-
or it's... We don't have half
I
thumbs.
wanted half thumbs before, and you were like, nope.
Fair enough. I'm sticking one thumb up because of its ridiculous nature.
Okay.
And the thumb down... I think there were a couple cringy moments. The rapey scene, I was a little cringy.
Okay, I'm glad you circled back to that.
Right.
Circled back. The two of us circle.
Yeah.
I don't think that was intended as a rape.
It probably wasn't. It just...
I think he just...
I don't think... Yeah, it went a
He's
little
just a
hard.
really grungy character.
Yeah.
And, back in that time, I guess that was cool. I'm not saying it's cool now or then.
It was cringy.
It was real bad.
I think people watching it the first time might have looked over, like whoever they went to the movie with, like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't feel
was,
great about this.
It was real uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Pretty rapey, but I don't think it was intended as such.
I think we've given this movie its due. Watch it.
Oh, final thoughts.
I think I've given my final thoughts.
All right. I haven't.
Go on.
Yeah. Final thoughts. So, I don't know.
Are you going to recommend it to the people?
No.
Don't watch it?
No. Well, I'd have to. I can't recommend this generally speaking. I mean, I have because I know. I can't recommend it generally speaking. But yeah, no. For me, the sheer enjoyment of it was why I gave 2 thumbs.
Okay.
And it's not because it's a good movie.
Glad you watched it?
It's a bad movie, and it's a proudly bad movie. And I respect that he stopped at nothing to make what he wanted to make.
Let's leave it at that.
Boom.
Boom. Watch it. Or don't. Whatever.
Cheers.
Cheers.